Hello, it is Patrick Tycoon Jones. Today is July 3rd. Tomorrow is July 4th. I had to wear the red and blue shirt just to show that we're in the holiday spirit. And as you know, I am definitely a patriot. However, today is all about focus on solving problems and watch your money grow, folks. That's what it's all about. Let's go from here to here to here. That's the name of the game. And today, I'm going to tell you all how to do just that. Let's get into it. Hello, it is Patrick Tycoon Jones here today with another episode on focus on solving problems and watch your money grow. As 50 Cent said, if they hate, then let them hate and watch the money pile up. But what we're going to do is we're going to focus and watch the money pile up. So you already know what to do. Get your pens, your pads, if you have your iPads, whatever it may be, your electronics, however you were taking notes, folks. It's about to go down. Number one, so stop looking at your prospects as dollar signs. So folks, if you're out there and you're selling a service or if you're selling a good, whatever it may be, if someone is coming to you, right, because they're looking to buy your solution, your service, whatever it may be, that is your prospect. Now, the number one thing that I dislike, and I've managed many salespeople, I've managed sales divisions, marketing divisions, and the whole bit. You name it, I've managed businesses. And the number one thing that I dislike that salespeople do is as soon as the prospect comes up, they're already saying cha-ching. They're already calculating their check and how much commission they're gonna make. Stop that right now. That's the reason why you are not all you can be and you're not maximizing your abilities because you're looking at every individual as a dollar sign. Stop it right now. I'm gonna go a step further. Individuals that are really making coin. I'm talking about 6-figure players, 7-figure players. They're not focusing on the commission at all. What they're actually doing is they're focusing on solving the prospect's problem. Okay? And that's exactly what you need to do. And I'm going to outline from 2 through 7 on how to do just that. But again, number one, stop looking at your prospects as a dollar sign. They can feel it, right? So if you're being a salesperson and you're pressuring your prospect and you want them to buy, you're not hearing them out, they can feel that. Energy is transferable. So if you're a salesperson and you need that sale, right? You just have to have that sale. They can feel it. And 9 times out of 10, they're not going to deal with you because you're being too pushy. You're not reading into the signs. And as a result, what ends up happening? They end up walking away. They go down the street or they go to your competitor and they deal with the individual who's cool, calm, and collected. And they buy from that person because at the end of the day, your prospects are going to buy from people they like. So be the specialist in your industry, be the best, the most knowledgeable, and stop looking at them as dollar signs, and you are going to watch your money grow exponentially. Okay? And I mean that. Number 2, genuinely focus on solving their problems. Now, how do you do that? First and foremost, you need to understand why they reached out to you. Why are they standing in front of you, right? If you're face-to-face sales, why did they decide to reach out to your organization? What was it about your organization or your product or your service or your solution, whatever it may be, that piqued their interest? Really get down to the core of it, right? Because once you get down to the core of just that, then you will understand how to sell that particular individual. You will understand how they're going to make their decision, right? And you'll also understand what their decision-making criteria is. And not every individual, not every prospect that you're engaged with makes the decision the same way, right? You're going to deal with different individuals, some that may know more about the product than you do, some that may have been in the industry line that you're in longer than you have been, right? But at the end of the day, they're coming to you. So no matter what title they have, no matter who they are, no matter how old they are, nobody should know your product better than you. So you're the specialist within the organization selling whatever it is that you have to sell, okay? So genuinely get to the core of why they're in front of you, why you're talking to them, right? Because if it wasn't for the product or the service, they wouldn't know you from Adam or Eve, period, right? You wouldn't know them, they wouldn't know you. So at the end of the day, it's not because of your good looks, right? It's because of what it is that you're selling. And then after you engage with them, how do you get them from the point of interest to the point of close, okay? And how you do that goes directly into number 3. Open your ears and shut your mouth and let them talk. First and foremost, scientifically, we have 2 ears first. What does that mean? We need to shut our trap. We need to listen more. If we are opening our mouth, we should be opening our mouth, asking probing questions, okay, to solidify what it is that you need to sell them, and to also understand why they're in front of you, their decision-making criteria, okay? And also understand when they're looking to make a decision and why they're looking to make a decision, okay? So if you don't know the full understanding of why your prospect is standing in front of you, you're not gonna make that sell. Or let's just say this, you won't have the ability to duplicate what you just did when another prospect comes in front of you, right? Because if you made that particular sell and you didn't have a certain understanding or a certain method on how you go from interest to close, you won't be able to duplicate it. So then if you can't duplicate it, how in the world do you say, okay, this is the commission that I can expect every month or every week? Right? Or every quarter. How can you do that? Right? You have to be a master at what it is that you're doing. Okay? So please, 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 please understand what's their budget, what's their need, who's making the decision, what's their timeline, right? And why are they in front of you? That's just very, very high level. I mean, I can get extremely granular with this stuff from a sales perspective, okay? I've been doing it for a very long time. So we can get extremely granular, but I'm giving you very high level bullet points. Okay? So that's number 3. Next, number 4. Before speaking, review what they said as you interpret it. So first, what you should be doing is as they're talking, as you're asking them probing questions, you should be writing this stuff down. Okay? Because once you go into, after they're talking, and once you go into, hey, this is what I heard, and this is what I think that you're saying, okay? Once you go into that spiel, it should be based on solid bullet points that you wrote down based on their conversation with you and them telling you what it is that they're looking to solve for, what their need is, what their budget is, what their timeline, and who's making the decision. Is it the person in front of you, or is it the man that's in front of you has to speak with his wife so they can make a decision collectively together? Then you need to bring the wife in. Or, are you selling to a corporation, right? You're not selling to a consumer, you're selling to a corporation. So, okay, now you're talking to the vice president. The vice president then has to do what? He then has to go to his superior, which may be a C-level, right? And then the C-level, depending upon what the price point is for your solution, may need to take it to the board, okay? And because of the economy today, what I'm seeing now, I'm seeing organizations that have to spend $50,000, they're taking that in front of their board now, right? So the buying guideline is becoming much more strict. And I'm talking about dealing with Fortune 500 organizations, right? Large entities out there, okay? So understand how they're making the decision, what the criteria is, and then understand how do you get the sale to close, and then after they sign the contract, what's the process on how you actually get the money, okay? Is there a PO that needs to be generated? If it's business to consumer, do they need to transfer money from their money market account to their savings, and it's gonna take 3 days, right? How their account is set up. So these are things that you need to uncover. And you have to be comfortable asking uncomfortable questions. Okay? If you're not, then you're not going to do well. You're failing from the beginning. Okay? So understand that. Next, number 5. Get buy-in from the prospect before pitching anything. And how do you get buy-in from the prospect? Well, you go through what you just heard them say, you give them your interpretation, and then you ask them, does this sound accurate? They need to be saying yes. If they say yes, then that's a small contract for you to then go to the next step. Whether it's you want to bring in a specialist and you want to set up a meeting for later in the week or next week so you can bring in your specialist so you can then refine your pitch, or if it is business to consumer, they're standing in front of you. Now you know how to identify what it is that you need to pitch them in order to solve their particular problem and get it from interest to close. Okay? These are the steps that you must take, and you must get buy-in before you start pitching anything. If you do not get buy-in, then guess what? It's somewhat disrespectful. And B, your prospect may not be bought into what it is that you're saying, right? Anytime you get a verbal agreement, you get buy-in by asking the question, based on what I just heard, this is my interpretation, does this sound accurate? And they say yes, you want to take it a step further. May I now move on to our solution set that aligns with your need? Get another yes. Why not? It's only going to help you. It's only going to separate you from the competition. So then once you do that, now you can pitch. And you can pitch effectively. Why? Because you have their undivided attention now. That's what this game is about. Okay? So get the buy-in before pitching anything. I don't want to see any of my tycoons or hear any of my tycoons pitching their product or their solution before they go through these steps and they get the buy-in. Okay? It's imperative if you want to win. Next, number 6, align your solution with their need and deliver a dynamic presentation. I used to tell some of my sales reps that I manage, whenever I'm doing a presentation, I want to make sure that it's, high level, and I want to make sure that I'm able to maintain the energy that I start with all the way until the end. Okay? And when I go through and deliver a dynamic presentation, you're going to be immersed. I'm going to have your undivided attention. I'm going to ask probing questions. I'm going to check halfway between the presentation, make sure that I'm hitting the mark. I'm going to ask for the business, right? I'm going to ask for it 2 or 3 times. I'm going to ask them based on what they've heard, is there anything stopping us from becoming partners or solidifying the business relationship, right? I'm doing all of these things while delivering a dynamic presentation that aligns with their specific needs. That's the reason why this is number 6, because there's steps 1 through 5 before I actually deliver any type of presentation and pitch anything. That is very important as well. Okay, and I know some of you will argue that. Well, why do I have to go through 5 steps, before I can actually open my mouth and pitch? Because if you want to do it the right way, that's what you'll do. If you want to shoot, in the dark, and maybe you hit, maybe you don't, then, do it another way. But if you want to be effective and you want your effectiveness to be repeatable, then this is exactly what you're going to do. And number 7, last but not least, folks, ask for the business. It has been proven that you have to ask for the business nowadays, okay, in 2022, at least 6 to 9 times before you get a yes, full commitment to actually move forward with your solution. So now you should be thinking, wow, well, have I asked for the business 6 to 9 times? Or would you, listening to me, would you quit before you get to the third time that you have to ask for the business? Most of you, scientifically proven, would quit before you even get to the third ask for their business. Before you even get to the third question, you would stop. In hell, most people stop before they even have to follow up. So what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to weed out individuals that are not looking to buy immediately. And I'm trying to get my prospect to a yes or a no as fast as I can. And at the end of the day, it's a numbers game. So what if you get a no? Okay, move on. But guess what? You didn't waste your time. You didn't have to go through this whole cycle and get to the end right when you think you're about to close for the prospect to tell you no, they're not moving forward. That's why you ask for the business multiple times, 6 to 9 times. Because you want to see who's ready to do business, who's real, and who's fake. Who's about it and who's not. So for me, it's my job as the professional that's pitching to get them to an informed decision as fast as possible. Whether that informed decision is they decide to move forward with you or they don't. Because you don't want to waste your time either. Your time is equally as valuable as their time. Period. The days of the sales professionals feeling like they have no power, feeling like the prospect has all the power, those days are gone. Okay? Because at the end of the day, if you are on your game, you're going to be the number 1, number 2, or number 3 sales professional within your organization. You're going to be raking in money, and you don't have time to play games. You don't have time to waste. Okay? But if you're going into the presentation mode and you're not confident, you're not sure of yourself, who wants to do business with an individual like that? I don't. If you are going to ask me for my money, you damn well better be confident. Otherwise, it's not going to work, folks. So ask for the business, okay? 6 to 9 times you should be asking for the business, okay? So Tycoons, hopefully you learned something from this. And as I always say, Tycoons, lock in with me because you know I'm locked in with you. And please share this with another Tycoon that may not have the understanding. Please share this with them. And you already know, like, subscribe, and share. Until we meet again, folks, please have a happy, safe 4th of July, and you will see me very soon.